Hey there, folks. My name is Dan Bell, and today we're going to talk about creating calendar exceptions, resource calendar exceptions in Project Align, Project Server. A couple ways to do it. We're going to demonstrate both. One way is to actually have the resource do it, utilizing the timesheet capabilities if your organization is set up to do that. The other way to do it is typically if you have somebody with the appropriate permissions, that might be project managers, if you allow PMs to edit certain resource information, or resource managers. And we're going to show you that method as well. Now, what I want to do first is I'm in Microsoft Project, and I'm going to confirm that the resource that I'm planning to use does not have the required calendar exceptions. This is going to be Robin Counts. We're going to add her to the team. Click OK. Those of you already familiar with this process in a Microsoft Project standalone environment, you know you go to the project ribbon, click on Change Working Time, and there's where we would create calendar exceptions. The first calendar comes up, standard. There's Robin's right under that. When I select it, lo and behold, I'm going to get this message. The first sentence is really all that matters here. Changes to enterprise resources will be lost. Big difference here working with Project Server. We're working in an enterprise environment. We're all sharing the same enterprise resource pool. Therefore, when changes need to be made to a resource, the resource record needs to be checked out. Change is made, and then the resource record checked back in. And that way, everybody is sharing the same resource pool. They're getting the same information for each resource. It's a more controlled situation so that you don't have many different people editing resource information and possibly just having disarrayed information. I click OK, and the vacation exceptions need to take place in July. And as you can see, July 2017, I have nothing. Cancel. I'm going to exit out of the project. The reason I'm exiting out is because I'm going to use the delegate function here, and I want to make sure that it's not going to disrupt my project connection. If you're familiar with the delegate functionality in Project Server, that's when you can actually log in and act on the behalf of some other user in the system. Now, in this case, we talked about Robin. I'm going to act on behalf of Robin in this case. And if you look in the top left, top right, you can see I'm logged in as a user named Garth Fort. Garth is a project manager in this particular case. He can approve pending updates from resources. In this case, however, this resource is going to delegate as Robin. We'll start that session. And Robin is going to go ahead and submit a timesheet entry for vacation time. That vacation time is going to take place for this one, for the timesheet entries, second week of July, 9 through the 15th. We're acting as a delegate for Robin. That way, we're going to submit and do this on behalf of her, and the calendar exception will be for her. All right, so there they are, 8 hours a day. Oh, actually, let's correct that because it's not actual yet, right? It's planned. 8 hours across the board, planned work. Let's go ahead and send it. Send progress for all tasks. Prompt for a comment. Now it says it's waiting approval. As I mentioned, Garth happens to be the approval as well. Therefore, I'm going to stop the delegate session here. Go to approvals as Garth. There it is. Tick the checkbox. Click accept. And I'll get another prompt here. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And this should clear the approval from my approvals window. Good. We're good to go. Let's launch project back up. Connect to the appropriate demonstration environment. Same thing. I'm just going to open a simple project. Add my resource to the team, Robin Counts. Right. The reason I'm doing that is so that when I go here to change working time, I will be able to select her. And again, same prompt. Now when I scroll down, there's your exception. Second week of July, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, this person is unavailable for project work. Okay. That's the one method to create a calendar exception. That is the one that is initiated by your team member if your organization happens to be using time sheets in this particular case. Let's say that you want to utilize another method. Okay, you're not using timesheets, or your particular organization isn't allowing or having team members submit updates for administrative or operational activities. Okay, the other way to do that would be initiated via the Resource Center within the tool set. Okay. So I navigate to Project Online, navigate to the Resource Center. And again, this is going to be based on the permissions you have in the system. All right. You're going to need to be able to have the ability to not only view the resource, but also edit the resource. And this might be based on whether you set up a resource breakdown structure in your organization, because depending on the size of your organization, it's typically not a situation where you're going to let project managers or resource managers edit the record for every single resource in your organization. Okay. But in this case, we'll go through the exercise. It is Robin. We'll go ahead and select Robin's record here. You can see the record. And then you'll notice in the resource ribbon, there's an open, and it's basically, that's a Microsoft Project icon right there. Open the selected resource in Microsoft Project Professional to edit their properties, including those not available in Project Web App. Right? In case you didn't know that, there are some things that you can edit in Microsoft Project for a resource record that you can't in Project Web App. Some of those things can be cost rate tables and so forth. We'll click open. And there you go. Now the resource record is opened in Microsoft Project. That's your resource sheet. Big difference from working in a standalone environment. Look at the very top, the header. It says checked out Enterprise Resources Project Professional. Now I have in my resource record, I have it checked out. Therefore, when I navigate to change working time, like we did before, look at that. I automatically have Robin's calendar opened. I'm not getting that prompt saying changes to enterprise resources will be lost, because I have the enterprise resource pool checked out and this resource specifically checked out. What I would do is I would go ahead and specify, what is this calendar exception going to be? Well, this is just testing purposes. We're going to go ahead and create an exception from, and let's go to next month here, from the 23rd through 29th, more vacation. And there's the second exception that we created right there. We'll click OK. I still have the enterprise resource checked out. I'm going to save like so. And then I select File, Close. Get prompted, do I want to save the changes to it? Yes, I do. And what's going to happen, it's going to save it and it's going to check it back in. And you can see now we're back to Microsoft Project Professional. If I were to go ahead now and to start another project from my template, select Control T to build team, and we'll go ahead and it looks like Robin's already on the team. Navigate to custom fields here, change working time. If I go ahead and select Robin, scroll down, there you go. So we have our exceptions created within Microsoft Project Online. There you have it. Those are the two different methods to do it. We demonstrated doing it via the timesheets, and that would be a mechanism where you would utilize, if your organization is utilizing timesheets, you're utilizing operational activities that are in your timesheets. Team member would submit, somebody would approve, and then the calendar exception is already created. The other mechanism would be if you're not using timesheets, or for some reason your organization does not want to submit the calendar entries, exceptions rather, via the timesheets, you would go ahead and do it utilizing the method I just showed. Check out the resource from the Resource Center, open the Microsoft Project, make the changes, and then close and save the enterprise resource pool. There you have it. Thanks, folks, for your attention, and hope you learned something new today. Bye-bye.